Alright, let's proceed, shall we? Gun! Mess up. That wasn't me! It might be too much to hold him at gunpoint. He's never gonna be useful at this rate, though. Alright, I'll ask calmly. You ever seen this? Alright. Imagine this dude. Key? You dropped your key. I don't think I've seen this. Ah, gotcha. It was shown in the trial. Right, I forgot about that. But it's still not mine. Apparently the truth. Does nobody know what this freaking key opens? Not getting ahead of the next locked room at this rate. The first shot totally came from this TV. And you were the one who turned it on. No, you've got it all wrong. Sounds like what a guilty person would say. Why would I run away if it was me? He's got a point there. That breaks his alibi. Probably had to dispose of the evidence. I'm watching you. I can only say that I didn't do it. Guess that really wasn't him, but now keep the pressure. Literally got your name on the evidence. You better start explaining. That's not... Well, that is mine. And? I accidentally left it here when I went into this room. And? That's all. Nope, why'd you bring it? And don't say just for the auction. I bet it was to steal something. His reaction says it all, but I feel there's something to this suitcase he's trying to keep from me. Hate it when it feels like that. Match my frequency on this. The fork that can turn off the TV was in this room. And you were in here right after people heard the totally fake gunshot. So you used it. Which means you were the one who faked the whole thing. Oh, wait, that wasn't me. Well, not intentionally, I think. Oh, sure, leaving it on the table, you did it unintentionally, huh? I was panicked because of the shot. Good excuse. But apparently the truth. You recognize this? Yes, I've seen this product before. You didn't take out a loan with them, did you? A loan with them? Eh? What has this cleaning spray got to do with loans? Thank God, you did not. This is a special product given out by a certain loan company to their clients. The what? Tender lender. Please stay as far away from them as possible. Why would a loan company hand this out of all things? It's supposed to clean up their image. Word has it they have close ties to a mob family. Their previous product was called Tender Blender, but that seemed to send the wrong message. No matter how desperate you are, don't take out a loan with them. I almost fell for it. I caught the fine print at the last second. Interesting stuff. This is only handed out by an oblivious loan shark to their clients. There's someone I should ask more questions about her financial situation. Tender Bender. Tender Mender. Holy shit. Alright. Look, it's the door you never got to. Tell me about it. I wasn't there, so I don't know. Well, you must have seen it briefly while you were still in the hallway. What were the others doing before you slipped away? They ran to the door and knocked on it, I think. They looked distracted, so I entered this room. Useless, but thanks. What do you think about the Nintendo Switch? What kind of breaks something to you? We ran the scans and... I'm sorry, but it's terminal. Lilian! I know. Take your time. You're making a joke. Don't just catch on before you get to a good part. Don't mind her. She's got a terminal case of aimlessness. You could figure out my plan if you weren't terminally lazy. You'll have to come up with something better if you want to catch me off guard. Was that wordplay? Ooh, can't think of a good comeback. You were, going to ask me something? Yeah, let's try that again. Shallow ethics, insane doctor. Word association, shallow ethics, insane doctor. Shallow ethics, he won't suddenly start talking. Why did he say anything? It's suspicious. He's probably pretending he didn't hear you because he has no clue what you're on about. Sorry, I didn't know that was for me. Well, never mind. I hate it. Does nobody know what this means besides Aurelia? That is a very curious point. You've been stupid about this place. Tell me the secret. I'm not sure what you mean. I bet you know. Please stop. Wait, there's one thing I can tell you. Wow, that worked? Mr. Neelan once told me something about this place. I'll let you in on something. You're gonna need all... Oh, wait, we've talked about that. What do you mean by that? I have no idea either. He said that back before the tower project was cancelled. After that, he seemed to lose interest. Okay. Cube, tuning fork. Lead dude? I didn't think there was a photo. There wasn't in the old one. Should have asked for an update. Oh, will they forget about this? It's not that important, right? Never. Probably. There's a murder to deal with. He won't know squat about that since he was elsewhere. Got a question about the suspicious stuff he saw instead. Like him. Everybody panic, it's him! Don't talk about that. I know what I saw. How much do you know about the Reaper? Enough to know that we shouldn't be trapped in a building with him. Ever met him in person? Not before today, thankfully. Sounds to me like you've only seen photos of him. Would he honestly show up here without a solid disguise? I have heard that he often did very unexpected things for reactions. I can't predict what someone like that might do. Someone who likes mind games, huh? I'll keep that in mind if it really turns out to be him. Stonks. What? No, that's Mr. Dow. We've been acquainted for a long time. He always got this much stuff to complain about? Well, he has not been treated kindly by life. But he's always treated with respect despite that. Is that true, or does anyone look good when standing next to this guy? Speaking of... Boo! Ah! He's already on edge. You trying to kill him? I'm just trying to ask questions. Or maybe try a little less in-your-face approach. Fine, can be considerate. What about you? Have you seen this man? No? You're right. Thought this might be you, but you're only a shadow of who you could be. I see. Motivational speaker Lilian. Don't just accept it, only you can change this. Face your struggles head on. Become who you were meant to be. What do you want me to do? You can start with telling me everything you know. That's only weighing you down. I'm trying to do that. Are you really, though? You totally pause before each sentence and worry whether you should really say it. There it is. I don't think I can do anything about that. A tough case. But it's his fault. Mr. Neelan's attitude has made you like this. Need to find him and have you speak your find. No, I won't be part of that. What's he gonna do, kill you? Worse! Worse? I thought being motivational could help here, but this is just putting him more on edge. Oh, whoops. Dead body. How could such a terrible thing happen? I'm sorry, I'd rather not speak about the recently deceased. I feel I need a better segue for that. Like the recently murder. She really is a villain. You're salty she exposed your silly lie. That's all besides the point. There is no world in which she's not criminal. Amen to that. Veto. What kind of vote is this? One where y'all don't even know what you're talking about. But even if she didn't shoot Mrs. Holden, what was she trying to do in that room? Financial trouble, maybe? Nonsense. She's not that desperate, I think. Seems like an obvious burglary to me. If you can't explain it, it's probably because it's as bad as it looks. I freaking know that, but let me not think about it for 2 seconds, please. You, we're changing topics. Okay. What do you think about her? I have not talked to the detective. She shouldn't find any evidence pointing at me. Well, no, since you bailed before you got to the scene. I do regret that. In retrospect. Turns out crime doesn't pay. Who'd have thought? Why did she decide to do something this risky? Well, solid chance there'll be a couple lawsuits coming her way about this. Right, I didn't take her for... I wonder if she is in a financial struggle. Got the same guess, but I gotta know. When you say financial struggle, you don't mean like, oh no, I only made 20K this month, right? It's not like that. Business bankruptcy affects the owners as well. I guess there are some that, exaggerate. Can guess who you're thinking about. Was she really trying to help me, or, Nah, she totally threw you under the bus the moment you stopped being useful. Nothing personal, though. Expect her to keep doing that with everyone. Oh, well, I suppose she has her job as a lawyer to do. Lawyer for her own ego. Kova? What was he doing in here before we showed up? He must have seen. I didn't dare to peek, but it sounded like he was taking a look at each of the displays. He picked some of them up and put them back down later. Okay. Sounds like he was looking for something. They suspected there was something hidden here. Curious. What am I getting that looks for now? Did this dude check your suitcase when you got here? I think so? So not really. Gotcha. You realize like half the guests brought one? What, did you expect me to open all of them? Could have saved us some trouble if you'd at least noted it down. All I'm saying, let's not be unreasonable, madam. It's not my job to note down every single thing. We'd be there all day if I did that. Doesn't trigger the metal detector, it's usually not worth it. That's a rule I live by. Pretty common sense if you ask me. Pretty convenient if you asked me instead. I'm just gonna pray you were at least thorough when it came to the stuff you actually checked. No gun could have been slipped past me. I'll swear to as much. Maybe this will be useful to know when we get to his testimony. Alright, enough putzing around. Looks like a gentleman thief got a hole in the glass. It happens. Adult could totally fit through this with some gymnastics. You can see the cleaning platform they mentioned hanging outside. Doesn't look like there's anything on it, but it's dark, so... Alright, let's go out there and check for clues. That's a joke, right? Yes, because you're going to check by yourself. Not getting paid enough for that, madam. Fine, the detective would probably have noticed when she checked this out earlier. You're still a coward, though. Am I? Or are you? Touché. That says something here, not just the coldness creeping into the room. Oh, I like that. What are you up to? What I saw, intimidation is pretty effective with him. Alright, buddy, time to give it to us straight. What? What were you doing in this room when the crime went down? My gut says you tried to steal something. Whoa, wait, it's not what it looks like. Liar. Madam, you won't get the poor man to talk like that. He's already at rock bottom. Nothing left to lose. I know what it's like. You think you can do better? Totally, I'm a certified pro. Leave it to me. You can get certified for that? Is Bro Academy a thing? Hey man, this day kind of sucks, huh? I'm feeling you. You can certainly think of less agonizing days. Right? Tell you what though, this isn't gonna get better if you keep it all to yourself. Guys like us, we gotta stick together. Weather the storm as a team. You want to help me? I mean, I'm in the same boat, really. This madam has been trying to murder me all day. More like you keep shooting yourself in the foot and then blame the gun. See this? She's relentless. So you know what? We should totally have each other's back. I'm a guard. Keeping people safe is my specialty. He says after failing to do it today. You'd protect me? Of course, man. You just gotta tell us what you were doing here first. Don't worry, your secret's safe with me. That's what I'm paid for. You're paid by the people that want this guy's head. But this feels like it's actually working somehow. So, well, shut up. Alright, I'll trust you. It's true, I was looking for a certain treasure. The statuette of Thanatos. One of the items that was meant to be sold, I guess. The statuette is part of a set, the Greek Pantheon collection. A certain very rich collector has almost managed to complete this set, with only this one missing. He would be willing to pay any price to the person that brought it to him. There were rumors that the statuette might have been in Dr. Leeds' possession. It wasn't listed in the items to be auctioned, but, well, it's not completely legal, but sometimes items like that are unveiled as a surprise. Why didn't you just wait for it to be auctioned, then? I doubt I would have managed that. I saved up $500,000, but there were other guests I would have not been able to compete against. They would have realized the real value of the statuette once I started bidding. There's no way those two would have let me have it. I get wanting to get back at those folks, but stealing ain't right. My business isn't doing so well right now. That's a thing to say with $500,000 in the bank. We sell very unique marble furniture. It's usually very popular, and there's no competition. But with the current state of the economy, luxury items are not doing that well. So you tried to make some extra cash to not go bankrupt. Got it. Well, more or less. That feels as far as it's worth going into that. What you witnessed? You said some wild stuff back there. Mind if we go over it? What do you want to know? So you went in this room, cut a hole in the glass somehow, used the suspended platform to go down, and then saw Dr. Lilian? No, you still got it all wrong. Did not cut the hole in the glass. It was already there, I swear. Doesn't seem to be lying, but then... Was the hole hidden by the curtain when you got there? Yes, the same way you found it. That's kind of weird. What made you look behind the curtain, then? That's... you see, I was looking for something important I'd lost. Something I definitely had to find, so I looked in every corner. I heard the defendant's voice coming around that time, and might also have, knocked down this fork by accident. That was totally you as well. Sorry about that. What were you searching this room for? I can't say. You really think you still get to keep secrets from us after all this? I'm sorry, but I really can't say. Oof, I guess it's faster to skip that and focus on what he saw. Alright, what happened next? You went outside onto the platform. Yes, I figured what I was looking for might have fallen through the hole. Would you even have dropped something through that? I didn't know for sure where to look. Since there was a chance it was out there, I had to check. Okay, won't question it. So you went through the hole. Guess that platform had somewhere to be lowered and raised. There's a panel on the platform that allowed changing the elevation. Ah, and why'd you decide to lower it? Whatever you dropped wasn't on the platform. Moving it wouldn't change that. It's not like you could have lowered it down all the way to the ocean. I'm sorry, but you've got it all wrong. I did not lower the platform. Yeah? You're making no sense here, man. Now, just see anything on the lower floor if you didn't take it down. You went through the hole and just fucking fell? The platform was already lowered. I merely took it back up after seeing that man through the window. I'm sorry? Hold up, what? If the platform was already on the lower floor, then how did you manage to get on it? I jumped. You've got me kidding! What the hell, man? You jumped down onto that shaky platform? What if you'd fallen off or snapped the ropes? Nobody here gets paid enough to try something like that. I gotta agree. Just thinking about that jump is making me dizzy. No disrespect, but it feels like you get nervous pretty easily. It's hard to picture you just deciding to take a leap of faith out of this tower. It's the truth. I really got on the platform. I had to. What I was looking for was simply too precious to lose. Damn. Starting to doubt my intuition, but he seems to be honest about it. Just what could have been that important to him? Unfortunately, what I was looking for wasn't there. Huh. Man, you deserve a happy ending for surviving that stunt. It's fine. I later managed to recover it. Alright, but let's get back to that platform again. Are you sure you saw this guy through the window? Was he up to anything? The room was too dark to make out much. It was only a vague figure. And how are you so sure it was him? Could make out the features of his face. Short hair, the evil grin, those glasses of his. Glasses aren't really a solid identifier. Especially not shades. Dark Max Galactica, show me the 3 symbols. Those circular shades are not particularly common. That's sort of fair. They're not in fashion, especially not in the middle of the night. Anyway, he looked at me and I got terrified, so I quickly raised the platform up. Did you notice any holes in the glass on the lower floor? No, there was no opening in the glass there. I mean, should there have been? By everything this witness said, then someone already cut a hole in the glass up here. Someone must have climbed out and lowered the platform to be aligned with the lower floor. Since it was still down there when this guy found it, that means they never went back up. Well, how the heck did they get off the platform? Heck, how do you usually get on and off this platform? Not like that hole has always been there. I think I can help you with that last one, madam. There's a hatch somewhere on this floor that lets you climb to the roof or something. At least that's what I've heard the few times the window cleaners drop by. Of course, only the boss or her daughter would have the means to unlock that, though. Ah, good to know. I feel the important thing is that someone other than Mr. Poley was doing something here. Whatever it was, I got a feeling it's connected to Aurelia's case. And Wallace. He really has it out for you now, huh? It's rather troublesome. He does not take kindly to trespassers on his property. I heard that one time a boy was celebrating his 13th birthday at Mr. Neelan's amusement park. This technically put him above the age limit by less than a day. Mr. Neelan personally appeared, grabbed the child by one of his ears, and threw him out. That's what it takes for him to do that. I do not want to find out what he'll do to me. Yikes, happy birthday. The hell, man, I'd have sued. The parents tried to sue, but Mr. Neelan has a lot of lawyers working for him. It's useless. Wow. So why'd you hang out with a punk like that? Unfortunately, he's one of my biggest customers. I have no choice but to humor him. Think of it, he did say that he's the actual owner of this building. Is that right? It belongs to Luna Park, so that's correct. You know why he decided to rent it out? Seems like a weird thing to do with a tower. He said he just had no further use for it when construction had to be stopped, but... No, there's probably nothing else going on. Oh, no, you don't. Tell us what you were gonna say. Well, with him being one of my customers, I did some research about Luna Park. It's a subsidiary of Cool Company, a business that sells cooling materials. Oh, no. Oh, no, we're getting all the references today. Where's fucking Luke at me? Cooling materials? They sure did some branching out. Where's Luke at me? Allow me to elaborate. The owner of Cool Company was very fond of children. She loved telling them stories, or so I've heard. Her name was Luna von Doppelbor. The what? Her name was Luna von Doppelbor. Doppelbor. Oh, that. Huh? Wow, we're really going into it. All right. Doppelboringen. I feel like I've read that name before, and probably made fun of it. She died 5 years ago in the same incident as Dr. Lead. Perhaps that's where you saw it. Oh my god! You killed it off. Amazing. You killed her off in the backstory for this game. That's incredible. Since both of them had been invited to that mansion, they might have had some kind of previous connection with each other. Miss von Doppelborgen could have made an arrangement with Dr. Lead, and then instructed Mr. Neelan to rent out the tower. Might have even known Dr. Lee needed a place that's difficult to investigate for his operations. Holy fuck. It sounds like we're jumping the gun a little. Just because Dr. Lee did all the evil stuff doesn't mean everyone he dealt with was evil too. There's more to this. Something is seriously off with Cool Company. I looked through their history. A lot of things don't add up. They signed a contract in 2005 with an organization that was only founded in 2014? Almost like their entire business history is just made up. Alright, that does sound like something's going on there. How did nobody ever catch that? It's hidden in a mountain of irrelevant information. Most people would probably give up before getting that far. Or the cops just suck at their job as usual. You don't get to say that. He's right, though. So the gist of what you're suggesting is Shady Company may have made deal with Shady Man. Yes. The fact that Mrs. Holden was involved makes it all the more likely. What was that? Victor was in on this as well? No, I'm really just speculating here, but she... If it's about the victim, I'll definitely need you to elaborate. You said the thing. You said the thing. I'm just screenshotting that. Thank you, Lilian. You are amazing. You are the spiciest meme lord, Lilian. I love you. Anything that makes her look bad could be pretty useful. Melanie. Alright. What do you know about the victim's dealings? Don't get it all wrong. I had no reason to look into it much, but, this wasn't the only time one of her tenants turned out to be a criminal. Hey, I heard that too. Boss complained a couple times about how one of her tenants got arrested. He didn't want to meet her on one of those days. It put her in a bad mood. Huh. Maybe she intentionally rented out properties to shady people? She could just have been really unlucky. She seemed really pissed off whenever it happened. Just terrible luck. Terrible luck seems to run in the Holden family. Annoyed about them being criminals or annoyed about them getting caught? Probably just annoyed about having to find a new tenant. Was she lying about anything when she talked about that? I mean, how would I be able to tell that? Boss had a good poker face. Right. Well, good enough for me. Let's book her. There's nobody left to book, madam. Besides, what would be the point of the boss intentionally doing something like that? Sounds like it's just inviting more trouble than it's worth. Well, there's a reason Mrs. Holden is a very popular real estate manager with a lot of wealthy clients. She's always able to find a buyer that's willing to pay well above the fair market rent. I feel like catch your drift. People are constantly paying more than elsewhere. There must be other perks to make it worth it. Things like no background checks and turning a blind eye to whatever the building is going to be used for. This was known in criminal circles. It might have been how she attracted them. And her clients didn't care as long as money kept coming in, huh? It's not like they could have been held responsible. They were not the ones to manage the property, after all. The manager can just feign ignorance, too. Multiple layers of plausible deniability. It would likely be hard to prove. Perhaps I am simply paranoid and there was nothing to this. Oh no, this is plenty. Thanks for the info. Just bringing this up might help Aurelia spin things in her favor somehow. It's worth a note. Holden's business history, alright. Spicy. There's a bunch of Rorschach tests. Alright, let's go. What does this look like? It looks like some coffee got spilled. What about this one? Still just some coffee spills. Lame, you're not even trying. Just tell it how I see it. Hey, that's more like it. Spotted your sleep paralysis demon? The picture just moved. Nice try, buddy. I'm serious, there's some giant insect on there. What are you talking about? There's nothing moving on these. How are you not seeing this? There, it's still happening. I want to get your eyes checked out. Don't tell me now I'm the one starting to see ghosts. Hee got him good. Shh. Praise our cuboid, keeper of secrets. Doesn't look like Mr. Kova managed to solve it. Tough luck. Even if he had, we already took the note. Some balls on a string. Still don't know what that's supposed to be. The string is not long enough to be useful either. Can't set up my awesome pendulum trick with this. Alright. Hello. Let's go to the crime scene. I figured you would show up again. Hey. I'm too busy and tired for pleasantries. What do you need? Oh, don't be like that. I'm a fan of detectives. I want to see what I can learn from you. No doubt to gather the information your sidekick will need. Wait, but I'm the sidekick. Is that so? That's not how I categorized it. Did you literally call me her sidekick earlier? You seem to have misinterpreted the data again. When I called you to the scary witch and her sidekick, the witch I talked about was in fact the combination was you. You are smiling too pleasantly in that. I'm the scary one? What did I do? It won't do you any good to play dumb. Whenever you enter this room, my devices start picking up inexplicable noise. It defies physical explanation. Ooh. Whoa, could this be responsible for that? Okay, maybe I am a witch. Which means you should hand over the info before I curse you. That request is going to be denied. I have another proposition for you instead. My intimidation stat isn't high enough after all. Last time you certainly questioned me about a lot of personal information. As a detective, I may have chosen the incorrect approach. If you want any more data, you're going to have to answer my queries first. My God, a real detective questioning me? Oh, wait, don't get excited. You're doing this for Aurelia's sake. Be cursed. I have a query. Where'd you get that? Oh, you like it? Let's assume I do. Well, sadly, this has been with me for as long as I can remember. You have to ask my parents where they got it from. Understood. Where can I find them? Oh, that's pretty nosy, even for a detective. I'm sure you'll find something similar in just about any store. Noted. Forget I asked. Oh, I won't. You shouldn't be so focused on me right now. So just so you know, Aurelia bought a cake for Mr. Koba before the auction. Noted, but do you expect that data point to have any relevance? You could never be too thorough, right? No, there's absolutely a line. If your scope is objectively too large, you stop being efficient. You got a point. This is probably my brain on mysteries. Gotta keep it real. What if it somehow does turn out to be a vital clue? It is. It totally is. What if the cake isn't a lie? I can't let go. I want an update on this gun, please. Do not expect it to stop incriminating the defendant. There is no more data to collect. It is her gun with her prints. Worth a try. Update, please. Denied. This version is still perfectly adequate. It still hasn't been a day yet. There's got to be more to check for. I do have very advanced means of analysis. There's a high chance performing a traditional autopsy will not be deemed necessary. No more updates? What do I do now? You can't update the autopsy report anymore. You've been keeping notes? Unexpected, but commendable. Yeah, and I've been thinking. Also commendable. You're all about that accuracy. Does this seem legit to you? It is a little off that the elevator would be the only way to get to this floor. A fair assessment. This tower did indeed have alternate paths of evacuation, satisfying fire safety standards. They appear to have been made unusable, however. Had a feeling. The closed circle's gotta stay closed. With the point against this being a totally spontaneous idea, girl. Very curious thought there. We're at the meaning of the code yet? A potential treasure hunt isn't high on my list of priorities. And you call yourself a detective. Oh, I didn't say that I will ignore it. It's simply not important at the moment. What's clear is that those words can't be a coincidence. They clearly point at Dr. Lee, but that knowledge by itself is not too useful. These kinds of puzzles are the worst. It's gonna be something totally arbitrary. I can feel it. According to the old man, these things are supposed to be loud as heck. I didn't really hear that, though. We were escorting the defendant away at the time. Alright. Well, can you demonstrate that noise for me? Rather not. Most of the noise comes from the creation of a vacuum to perform mass spectrometry. Or to keep things portable, the pump does not have any noise cancelling. It does need to run for about 20 minutes. Now that it is done, I would rather not repeat it for unnecessary demonstration purposes. Alright, guess I'll find another way to kill my ears. If the defendant and the Miss Pristin keep up their average volume, that won't be too difficult. Here. Is that luminol? I have no use for it. It's actually a cleaning spray. That is even worse. It could destroy valuable data. Do not think about applying this anywhere at the scene. What was my plan? I just wanted you to analyze this. Analyze? You know, for prints and stuff. Is this related to the case? Maybe. This isn't the first time I've seen this. Where was it? I don't think too hard about it. This is Miss Holden's, correct? Snap. I won't question how you obtained this, but there was no reason for me to help you. Do not assume you can have me waste my resources on analyzing irrelevant objects. Please? There is no objective reason for this spray to be this important. I'll pay you? What? How much for you to check the fingerprints on this? I don't take... Just give me that. Oh my god, is it actually doing it? Fingerprint data. Wait. Lilian, both hands. Susan, Melanie, Susan. Aurelia, Lilian. Probably useless data, but, still interesting. Yay, that's awesome, Miss Detective. This will be the sole exception. Please don't bother me with such queries again. Wait a second. What the heck? Why are my fingerprints on this? Because you literally held it approximately 53 seconds ago. Oh. Right. Maybe we shouldn't have just grabbed it. Can I also ask why Susan is listed here twice? Better query than your previous one. I guarantee no mistake was made, however. This simply means that... Are there actually two of them? I ain't falling for the maid clones again. Clones do not even have the same fingerprints. No, this simply means Miss Holden left prints at two distinctly separate points in time. Got it. So her prints are both on top and below those of her mother, then. Correct. That is what will lead to this conclusion. I can hopefully posit that you understand the rest by yourself. It's alright. That makes sense now. I had a feeling this might be useful to check. But now I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking it. Whatever, I gotta try to get through info like this, or she'll complain again. When you check this door, you should make sure to rule out every possible locked room trick that exists. Negative. This is not a locked room mystery. That's you being biased. What if you assume Aurelia is innocent? In that case, the door would still be the least of our problems. Or do you suggest the witnesses would have found a different scene if the door wasn't locked? I guess guarded room is just a different type of the same problem. Aurelia told me happens to rule out about every normal explanation for that, though. I can see that I do not anticipate such a creative use of this evidence. However, it's still only a hypothesis. There is no indication that this TV was turned on. Any prints? None to be found. Well, it's still possible, and sometimes that's good enough. You're going to require something that can truly verify your theory at some stage. Totally working on that. Wait for it. What do you think about this key? You still don't know what this key is for. Are you spooked yet? Not particularly. But what if it's the key to the entire case? Missing key is of greater importance. Your friends are more than happy to totally ignore that part. Well, I don't think that's a good decision. If you want your theory to stand up to scrutiny, it should not have holes like this. Now you're speaking my language. Don't get your hopes up, however. I find it highly unlikely the explanation, once found, will do much to clear the defendant. I'll take what I can get, if I can get it. You give me so much flavor text, I'm going to take all of the flavor text and shove it in my mouth. Delicious. This has gained more apparent significance now that Dr. Lee has supposedly been cited. What's your bet? Is he still alive? I don't have enough data about the case to assign a probability to that. You didn't look into it? Shame. It wasn't that I did not try. There is nothing available. The police never released more than very basic information, even to my organization. Alright, so decent chances somebody doesn't want that out. The dinner party at Oast Manor was attended by several very rich and influential individuals. I agree there's a high probability some money has influenced the data. Would that have been spent to declare someone dead who isn't? Well, Dr. Lead himself had a good reputation, but this would require means of a higher magnitude. Of course, the fact that he attended such a dinner increases the probability he had relations to someone with those means. Someone who might have found it useful to fake his death for one reason or another. As I said, this is meaningless speculation considering our lack of data. In a mystery novel, this sort of thing means he's totally still alive, guaranteed. Well, this has been brought up as an option. It actually means that totally won't happen and he's really dead. So all bets remain off, huh? Gotta keep playing this one by feel. Schrodinger's lead. Monopoly suitcase. Empty. No unusual traces. You totally missed that something like this went down in the other room, huh? The crime scene has been my priority given the objectively little time I was given. We don't have any data about this display room to share. Can you check it for prints at least? To accomplish what? He already admitted it was his suitcase. Fine, I'll try to get new evidence elsewhere. What do you think of this? Tuning forks are designed to always vibrate at a specific frequency. Any sound from this one would have turned the TV off. That much has been verified. Would that have worked through a wall or two? That depends on several factors, but in this case it should be generally possible. Walls here are designed to suppress audible sound. I think a higher frequency would have an easier time passing through. But I can totally hear this one. Naturally, humans can normally hear any sound ranging from 20 Hz to 20 kHz. This fork vibrates at a fundamental frequency of 7,000 Hz, so it's audible. However, it's not really a single frequency. Several overtones are produced. We're learning today, baby! I'm guessing that's just a bunch of higher frequencies then? Correct. Tuning forks are designed to minimize these, but they can still occur. This is due to good enough for me. Noted. I wouldn't want to explain the entire concept to you anyways. I'm surprised you managed to acquire this data here. Impressed? I'm somewhat of a detective myself. Do keep in mind this is not objective evidence of wrongdoing. If you are merely aiming to create a certain impression, it might be helpful. This is the part where we say it won't make a difference in the end. We won't assume, but it's unlikely that this can paint the incident in a new light. They are expecting that approach and will be prepared. Estimate that merely painting the victim in a bad light won't be too effective. Try to construct a more unexpected hypothesis. Then it might become interesting. Oh, you are kind of rooting for us. Alright. Based. That will have to be up to Aurelia, probably. Fingers crossed. Alright, we've been through everything now. Aurelia Chase, 30 years. Criminal record unknown. Potential future charges include unlawful entry and murder. Let's worry about one thing at a time. Any consolation, I have discussed the current matter with the judge. It will likely be trivial to declare this whole incident a mistrial. Wait, really? Despite what the plaintiff and her lawyer apparently believe, they cannot force what they want. Then why are you helping them if this is all pointless anyways? Several reasons. I figure this was the safest way to preserve the evidence and document testimony. If I had refused, Miss Holden might have tried to conduct her own unprofessional investigation. We likely won't be allowed to leave this place until this is resolved. Alright, that's somewhat reassuring, but the proper lawsuits will still come in regardless. I feel if Aurelia doesn't win here, she will lose her will to fight those charges. Can't let that happen. Then lead. 49 years if still alive. No criminal record. Wow, what a model citizen. That doesn't sound right. He was deemed dead before his crimes ever came to light. Consequently, he was never formally charged. If alive, there's a high probability he would be indicted on multiple counts of murder and kidnapping. They kidnap people too? Several missing persons cases have been attributed to him. There are also witness accounts of survivors. Mainly targeted young men. They were forced to be part of human experiments. Oh, that's messed up! Do those things in the name of science. It's unforgivable. Either way, it's clear his reputation is well earned. Maybe objectively preferable he really is dead. Can't disagree. Even him being here could be good for Aurelia's case. Alright, Walter Sneeland, 49 years, convicted twice for tax fraud. That totally tracks. I feel like he has other issues going on here. Luna Park is objectively good lawyers. There were about 30 other lawsuits they got acquitted in. Fucking Waldus Nealon is just playing FNAF 6 over there. Just settling lawsuits left and right and just doing every shady practice possible. Yeah, fun place, gotcha. I had hopes that, as the owner of this building, Mr. Nealon could help us leave. However, he really has given up all access to his manager. Or he could be in on it. He would need a considerable motive to do something this bad for his business. Yeah, he didn't really give me those vibes. Not the vibes he gave were any better. Jones Dow. 73 years, no criminal record. Stonks. Yes, stonks. Seems like he wasn't a good pick for watching the scene with you. He ended up bleeding all over it. How did that even happen? It is statistically unlikely. His souls must have been worn to be pierced so easily. Of course, he should have watched what he was stepping on in the first place. Between this and him complaining about her tools, I can tell this one got her pretty annoyed. Mono? Monopoly, 29 years, no criminal record. Totally about to get booked for something, though. Very likely. He has given false testimony. You think he's telling the truth now? It seems unlikely he would make this up, but I won't rely on such judgments. His claims will be verified once I move on to investigating the lower floor. That's gonna be interesting. I better not miss it. Lewis Gart, 30 years, no criminal record. Yeah, that right. You don't get to act like it's an achievement. This guy told me he's actually with the FBI. We're ratting him out. Do you have any proof for that assertion? Nope. Noted. What else did he supposedly share with you? The police totally covered up what happened in those past incidents we've heard about. I suppose that would be compatible with the conclusions of the silent detective. Oh? Another detective? Now she's got my attention. The silent detective, the last time I checked, he was ranked 82 in Alethea. Also, this was pointed out in the comments in one of the earlier parts, which blew my freaking mind, that the whole organization here was from the way earlier works in the Detective Girl series. If that takes you back to the freaking way back machine from this YouTube channel. God damn. I remember that unlocked the core memory of those games. I wish there were more, but that unlocked the core memory of the Detective Girl games. God damn. Blackrune really is cramming all the references into this game. Incredible. So he's better than you? Maybe we should listen to him. His track record is obviously good to get to that rank, but his communication is inefficient. He's totally just like me. For real. This detective was involved in those 2 incidents that happened a couple years back. Correct. He was investigating a possible connection between those incidents and this tower. After he didn't manage to get access to the building, he eventually moved on. You sure the detective was all that great? That sounds like he gave up pretty easily. He's solved many other cases since then. I would say it's all an efficient choice on his part. Detective's not hyperfixating on a single case until it's solved? That's crazy! In fairness, his conclusions may have led him to believe there was no urgent reason to pursue this. If he had actual conclusions, what were they? I have no confidence in relaying those. Do not choose to share them beyond several ambiguous remarks. That's more like a proper detective. Consulted his notes before coming here as part of my preparation. I can provide you a copy if you think it might be relevant. Sure, totally relevant. We take those? Of course. Keep in mind he wrote these right on the official police reports. Looks objectively disorganized, but this method must apparently be effective in some manner. Shit, alright. Get in, goodies. Holy. Oh my god. Eh. 2027. Saul Poor. Rip. To type unknown. They didn't even try. Torn throat. Fatal damage to trachea and arteries? It should have been a bigger mess. Where'd the rest of his throat go? Oh shit, it's Hanamizawa syndrome. Discovered his house by a neighbor. Surrounded by sand. Surrounded by sand? Footsteps aside from the victims were found. No signs of forced entry. They except the living room. Large animal, like a bird of prey, that escaped unknown. What? Why you die on my birthday? Chris Minnell. F. Wasn't built different. Accident. Doubt. Organ damage from major burns. Weird. And fire attack accidents usually die from inhaling smoke. Burn home. All entrance is locked. No signs of forceful entry. It was a total mess. Strange there was no struggle. No indication of foul play. We're just not going to address the disarray? What about the Reaper Shadow? Yeah, poor visited the lighthouse in the morning of the same day. Someone saw Minnell enter it a few weeks before a fire. Possible link. Let me in! Poor scene was too tiny for animal attack. First person at the scene mentions chest on the table near the victim. Where is it? Evidence room. It's an interesting piece of debris at the scene. Chest plus debris equals tower. Chest had the key clue, but who done it? Huh. Rockin' the vibes, this guy. Better read those when I get some time. Whoosh. Okay, this is looking cool. Does sound like this detective had some theory. Is that really all he gave you? He wrote this should be sufficient when he shared those data points. Initially he appeared a little concerned about the auction. When I pressed him on his statements, he said it must have been dealt with. Should be fine. Plot twist, it wasn't fine. His estimate was correct, then those incidents should be unrelated to what's currently happening. I do wish he was more precise instead of making vague, ominous statements, however. Alas, he could not fathom the bitter truth of the matter. What do you mean? All shall be revealed when the time comes. Noted. Moving on. God damn it, all the cast in this game has such great chemistry! Victoria Preston, 23 years, no criminal record. That's because there's no prison in the world that can fit her ego. Aware you have your biases, be careful not to let that impede your judgment. Those quick to accuse other of flaws are more likely to develop those themselves. You don't get how many chances we've given her already. Fine, I'll try to be objective. It was right not to underestimate her, at least. Susan Holden, 21 years, no criminal record. High probability of being charged with up to 66 counts of false imprisonment in the future. She's got potential. That is certainly one way of assessing it. Potential consequences aside, however, I can sympathize with her cause. Personally counter-biased against her for reasons. Melody Holden, 42 years, no criminal record. However, one prior lawsuit for negligence, which was eventually dropped. Wow, you did your homework on her. The fact that I received an invitation to this auction appeared slightly irregular. Objectively not the target audience for this kind of event. Well, another note into the bin of into the pile of this whole trial was planned. So Celis, not the target audience. Judge, not the target audience. Victoria is their lawyer. Can we also conveniently here to represent her in this matter? What's up with that? I could not help but hypothesize whether it really was mere coincidence. Background check of the host was therefore simply basic diligence. I can get behind detectives coming prepared. Do you have any details about this lawsuit? I do. However, this is almost certainly not a productive inquiry for you to make. This incident happened 16 years ago, and is highly unlikely to be relevant. I would be the judge of that, if you don't mind. Very well, I will give you some homework. Prove that the lawsuit is relevant, and I will provide you all the data I have. How am I supposed to do that without knowing what it is? Correct. Please think about that problem before submitting your answer. I hate this! Oh. Let us begin with yourself, Lilian Marstella. Any girl's favorite topic. I can do that. I mean, I swear I'm not the culprit, officer. You always act in a way that appears aimless, but beneath that, you are much more calculating than it appears. Wait, what? Everything you do is objectively aimed at getting you closer to the result you want. You appeal to logic, sympathy, the desire for peace and quiet, anything. Until you find what sticks. She's right. On top of that, you seem to be able to assess people like they're an open book to you. Keep interrupting the trial with perfect timing and provide evidence to nudge it in the right direction. Objectively speaking, those are traits that warrant caution. Then why am I the one that feels cornered? You got me. I can actually tell if people are lying. I do hope that's a joke, for your own sake. Nobody with that kind of ability would be able to remain a normal person. Girl, if only you knew. In fact, that may inevitably make you a criminal. I'm a criminal just for that? I didn't even do anything. Action and inaction by themselves do not determine culpability. It is knowledge, mens rea, that determines whether someone is guilty or not. Let's posit your suggestion that you are a mind reader. You're able to tell within seconds of meeting someone if that person is about to commit a crime. Suppose someone tells you that they want to meet a specific person and asks for directions. The act of simply giving them directions can be considered innocent. What if you could assess they're lying, that they're actually planning to murder that person? You're right. There's a lot more responsibility there. Curious. Why do you look like I'm actually talking about you? Just heavy to think about. Responsibility that comes with knowledge. Makes you wonder whether it's even worth it. Ignorance is bliss, correct? That's objectively nonsense. Knowledge increases responsibility because it gives you the power to make informed judgments. Let's imagine pressing a button that blows up a building. You may not be culpable if you didn't know, but it's also not something fun to do by accident. Sounds fun, actually. Sellers will remember this. If the building is empty, at least. Bring all this back to the matter at hand. You are a resident of New York, correct? Whoa, that's right. How'd you know? Did you do the Holmes thing? Do I have any special dust on my sleeves? My findings aren't based on such haphazard guesswork. We formed a speech pattern and else. You have a Brooklyn accent. You always have a 95% chance of being from someone living in New York for a long time. You also have a passport with you, suggesting you were not in your home state. There's also an airplane ticket for a flight that arrived here yesterday. Oh, wow. Finding those, the assumption becomes fairly reasonable. You did come out here to meet Aurelia. Wait, did you x-ray me? Not quite. I used a terahertz spectrometer. I wouldn't just expose people to x-rays without their knowledge. That's objectively unethical. Whew, it's only regular violation of privacy. Alright. With that confirmed, your actions strike me as somewhat dubious. You flew across the country and arrived here just this morning. All simply to accompany Miss Chase. And what's wrong with meeting a friend? When she's visiting an auction, of all things? You could have picked any other day when her schedule was free. Oh snap, she's a pro, all right. I'm starting to feel the heat. Objectively speaking, it is quite the coincidence you would happen to pick this day. Which brings us back to knowledge and culpability. If you knew Aurelia Chase was planning to commit a crime at this auction and did not stop her, that would objectively make you a co-conspirator. Ah! A very telling reaction. May I query why you were getting so nervous, Lilian Maristella? Help, 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 help! Gosh, am I made of glass or something? A bit of pressure and I already feel like my heart's gonna explode. You see, that's Stop it. Deep breaths. It's true. I had a bit of a hunch something might happen. I didn't know for sure. I just thought I'd better tag along and... It's really just bad luck. Not the first time my hunches have gotten me into trouble. You booked the flight because of a hunch. I cannot even begin to comprehend actions based on such ethereal data. Regardless, that only solidifies the defendant's guilt. Behavior is the only subject you could have gotten any hunches from. I still think she's innocent. Of murder, at least. Let's analyze that next, shall we? Oh boy. She has certainly left an impression at the trial, not at that defendant. Right? What'd you think? Bluffs. Pursuing irrelevant points. Setting theories without knowing if the evidence supports them. She's considerably less efficient than I estimated. She's in a bit of a tough spot right now, but those totally weren't all bluffs. Remember the curtain? You might think she was taking a total gamble there. But really considered a lot of context clues. Example, when we first entered that display room, the air was a little colder there. Mr. Polley's story to that, it suddenly becomes very likely there was some opening in the windows. Are you sure you aren't giving her too much credit? She might be doing it subconsciously, but she's definitely amazing at putting pieces together. Just that currently, she can't seem to operate at full power. This is like maybe 20%. But just you wait. Once she says I'm beginning to get the bigger picture, there won't be any stopping her. That's objectively unlikely. I'm perplexed that you can still support her this much. Even if we leave the murder aside, she's lying, keeping secrets, and overall hostile toward the truth. You're not fond of how she talked about us detectives earlier, correct? I'm not detecting any redeeming quality here. Objectively. That's, really is kind and incredibly smart and perceptive. But right now, isn't really herself. Something's holding her back. I don't know what to do. She didn't used to be like this. Hey, what should I do? Is that query for me? You're a detective, right? And you're similar to her in some ways. There must be something you can do, you can figure out. Similar to someone like her, you must be mistaken. I tried to reason, but I just can't seem to reach her. She won't change her mind no matter what I say. I feel if I pry more aggressively, she'll close herself off completely. Just want her to tell me what's wrong. There must be something I can do. Girl, you poked this bear, now it's therapy time. Are you asking me for relationship advice? You're objectively at the wrong address for that query, I assure you. This is another one of your tactics, correct? Please stop looking at me with such a face. Fine, I'll tell you my assessment before my performance gets affected by depression. I'm no expert in this field, but your method probably isn't the most suitable. You want to change her mind by arguing her opinion is flawed. Unfortunately, not even us detectives can change anyone's mind using facts and logic. I posit that you'll have to touch her heart instead. Her heart? How do I do that? I can figure all this out for you. Let's move on to my investigation before this gets too difficult. So what it really needs is something that gets through her emotions. Without knowing what's bothering her, I don't know if I can say the right thing, though. I believe in you. Let's get this over with. You clearly won't leave again otherwise. You're not wrong. What are you still looking for here? For starters, I'm looking for the key to this room. There's unfortunately been no progress on that front, however. It does bother me. This key is a metallic object, but should make it easy to locate. I am forced to conclude someone managed to remove it from this room in secret. Why would anyone do that, though? To cast some doubt on the case against Miss Chase, perhaps. As we should be grateful to our mysterious key thief. I doubt that's all you're still here for. Your case looks to be going pretty smoothly even without explaining that. Correct. The real reason I resumed investigating is related to the mania caused by the last witness. Victoria Preston must have established this so-called ghost of Dr. Lee and had no way of killing the victim. Huh. So Victoria got spooked after all. Isn't that kind of a literal long shot, though? Apparently, her concern is that Aurelia Chase will try suggesting a certain asinine theory. This man was sighted on the floor below the crime scene. If he shot the ceiling, that bullet might have penetrated this floor and hit someone inside this room. She came up with that? I'm shook. But wait, there's no way that could have actually happened, right? Of course not. Calling it an asinine theory is appropriate in this instance. For starters, the floor contains reinforced concrete. This isn't a lodge with old wooden floorboards. Shooting a bullet through it? Objectively unthinkable. Still, she insisted I check if there were any holes present in the floor. She's a funny one. There's no way you would have missed something like that. Well... What? Wait, no way. You realize how much I had to rush in this investigation? As it appears, there are some oddities in this floor. I've discovered not only one, but 2 holes. What the heck? And that shot might have actually happened? Let me finish my findings before you jump to conclusions. These holes do not penetrate all the way to the lower floor. My analysis shows both of them only extend into the floor for roughly 15 centimeters. Their diameter is around 12 millimeters. No surprise I missed them because they have been filled up with a resin of photopolymers. In addition, a small carpet piece with fibers matching the carpet was glued on top of both holes. Given the carpet's thickness, this perfectly concealed the damage from view. So somehow 2 holes were made in the floor and then fixed up later? No matter how you look at it, that's fishy as heck. Could be something that happened a long time ago. There's no evidence that this is related to the case. Although, one of the holes is directly underneath where the body was found. The other's about 2.5 meters west of the first. Victim's upright position before the shot would have been precisely between both of the holes. It's even more suspicious. Only Aurelia Chase would have had the chance to cover up these holes after the fact. During the discovery, anyone else should have easily been spotted doing so. Right. Okay, maybe they're not related. At least pretend to argue in earnest. Okay, I have one last question. What the heck's the resident of photoproxies? Photopolymers. Would you like the long version or the short version? Our choices. Short version? Definitely the short version. I'll take the short version. You didn't even attempt to think about it. Details are overrated. Ain't nobody got the time for that. The gist is all you need. Photopolymers is such a general term for resins that change their properties when exposed to UV or visible light. There are several mechanisms that can be employed, such as ionic or free radical photoinitiators. The short version. That was intended to be the short version. I didn't feel like it was gonna be, subjectively. Just tell me what they do, not how they work on a molecular level. Fine. If that truly is enough to satisfy you, I suppose it's objectively faster. Photopolymers harden very quickly in response to certain parts of the light spectrum. They're popular in various industries as an efficient sealant for cracks and leaks. You might also have heard of 3D printing. They're used in that as well. Stuff that gets hard, fast, when out in the open. Got it. It's highly doubtful you do, but if you're content with this quality of information, so be it. Provide that the diagram that you presented in court, please. Whoa, you're gonna note the exact position? That's so nice! Don't think this means them on your side. This is merely for the sake of accuracy. Holes! 15 centimeters, diameter of 12 millimeters. That smells like covering up old gunshots. By the way, don't your gadgets include a 3D printer? They do. You're trying to assess me as a suspect. I mean, this photosynthesis material doesn't sound like something anyone would just have. Say nobody could have covered those holes. But you've totally got free reign at the scene right now. Objective nonsense. If I covered up these holes, then why would I be telling you about them? Mind games? Do you really think I'd choose to do something that erratic? Unlikely, I guess. She isn't giving me any culprit vibes. I'll leave it at that. We'll check out some other place, alright. There's nothing else I can tell you about these holes at the moment. They're a new data point to me as well. Something tells me Victoria's gonna totally ignore them. Since you're aware of them now, you are free to bring them up. You will have to present a case for their relevance, of course. Better be ready. We gotta turn these into proper holes in your case somehow. I like her. I really like her. Now what else can we do here? Everyone listen, we're ready to move. I'll allow an expedition of 4 volunteers to take the elevator to the floor below. They will ascertain that there is no ghost down there, nor anything else of relevance. Please be thorough and remove this stain on our otherwise clear case. It's finally time to go see what's down there. Am I prepared to go? Am I prepared, though? The trial will probably resume once that's wrapped up. I mean... objectively this way. Hold up, I still gotta do something real quick. Useless delays. What could be the hold up? Attentive meeting in the bathroom? I see. Be quick, but don't create a mess. Tell me when you took care of that. Appreciate it, Chief. First, I want to show you this. You're stupid to get this taken. Okay, gotta keep it as proof. Alright, we'll save it for court then. Back. Talk. Hello? Ready to move out. It'll take a while. Alright, let's go. Ready to hunt some ghosts. Quickly update Aurelia on what I found before we go. After briefing Aurelia Chase on her findings, Lilian Maristella was ready to take the elevator. Ankova? These 4 were the ones chosen to descend to the forbidden floor. Oh boy. Ah! terrifying animation. If someone handed you Pandora's box, what would you do? Would you believe them and not touch it? There has always been a flaw with such a box. You cannot observe what is inside without opening it. Once you do, it is already too late. The evil within will be unleashed. Human curiosity is too powerful to resist such uncertainty. That is why further tragedy was unavoidable. Oh no. What the hell's gonna happen down here? What? Bruv! Holy shit! Holy shit! God damn!